All right, everybody. Hello again, and I'm going to do a little bit more on the movie thing since my last wonderful review here on John Wick movie, which, as you know, I mean, this channel doesn't, or me personally, I don't do any one thing. I jump around from subject to subject, and whether I wasn't going to become a birding channel just because I made a couple of videos filming the birds. I'm not going to go on with that much unless I see something drastic happen when the seasons change. And what I mean, I've got the same customers coming out there to the feeders, so basically, those two were it on that. I don't do the car or motorcycle repair, maintenance slash whatever videos unless I have something going on with my own personal vehicles, and that doesn't happen all the time. Uh, so I'm kind of all over the place, and with the bonsai plant, with doing this and that. So anyway, I guess I'm on a movie kick now because I had a couple people ask me on the last video to do reviews on some old movies that they may have not heard of, or that would be interested in watching them. So basically, yeah, I can't do a review on all these old movies. I mean, some of the movies that I've enjoyed and that are pretty good go back into my God, the 50s, So what I decided to do is I was just going to get into a video about making some suggestions of actors and movies that I personally have enjoyed and I think are pretty hard-hitting for action, adventure. I do like comedies, so if some of my favorite actors like Schwarzenegger or whoever, they do a comedy, then if it turns out a good comedy, I like it. So there are suggestions, and what I'm going to do, and look, I've got so many movies that are really my favorites, and I have such a library of movies that I can't go through them all. I mean, I'd be here for hours and hours and hours. So, and then trying to write them down, trying to remember the names, trying to, sometimes it gets a little bit much when you're trying to think of it. So, what I did is basically I went into the names of the actors that I've always kind of admired for their work. I don't know these people in real life, and I don't really care to. I want to be entertained. I don't care about their personal politics. I don't care about their sexual preferences. I don't care about what they do or what they say off screen. As long as the movie entertains me, that's all I give a shit about. And the acting is good. And like I said, it's going to go into, more of the action venue, which I'm sure more men will enjoy than women, even though my late wife, she liked a lot of the action movies. Matter of fact, she loved them. But of course, she liked the tear-jerkers too, like Dirty Dancing and shit like that, typical female stuff. So, but, it's not just for men, but I think primarily it probably is going to be. So let's get into it, and I'll start with the early ones first, like John Wayne, of course. Uh, any guy my age that didn't respect John Wayne needs a good ass kicking. And basically, the guy was in the movies from I think 1926 to 1970. Let me see what 76, yeah, around 76. And basically the ones that are most enjoyable are from 1960, 63, and newer. That's where he really, plus the older ones are black and white, and they were good, but, black and white kind of leaves a lot to be desired. So, my favorites on John Wayne, of course, are McClintock, Sons of Katie Elder, Big Jake, those are the three that I really, go with John Wayne. I mean, there are so many more, and you can look it up. Just type in John Wayne movies, and you'll see the whole list of them there, and you can go through them, and then you can read a little bit on them and see what you might like to do. But John Wayne is definitely number one. The next one, of course, is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and of course, his movies, the early ones are about working out and stuff like that, and he was really young. And, of course, what started with me was Conan. Now, all the Conan movies, in my opinion, were good. The last one, the Red Sonja one, I don't know. That wasn't really that great, but Conan 1 and 2, especially number 1, of course, was fantastic. So, on that list is Predator, which I think they made 3 of them. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But Predator was definitely good action. Commando was another good one that he did. Of course, an older one is Total Recall, where he goes up to Mars and everything, and that's good. That was a good action flick. Terminator, and I think most people are aware of the Terminator series, and of course I'm talking about 1 and 2. Everything after that turned to shit, in my opinion, and the last one, I think, or the newest one, is definitely not up to my liking at all. I'm surprised he even played in that, or that they got what's-her-face to play in it. Good God, she looks awful in that. Anyway, another good one that he did was The Running Man. That would be pretty good. Had a good amount of gore in it and everything, and that was a good movie too. Now he did. Collateral Damage would be another one. True Lies. I like that. That was a thinking man's spy type, and it had Roseanne Barr. What's his name? Tom Arnold was in that with him in True Lies, and then what's her face with the legs there? She played a good role. I mean, that was pretty cool. So watch True Lies, and then of course he did a comedy called Last Action Hero, which a lot of people said really sucked, but it kind of makes a play on his badass, playing the badass cop. It makes fun of Hollywood, basically, and it is a good comedy. I enjoyed it. So Last Action Hero is another one you could try. All right, moving on from Arnie, which of course he's done a ton more too, so all of these people have. Bruce Willis, here's another one. Of course, the Die Hard movies, which I think all of them were pretty good, if I recall right. I enjoyed, I think, every one of the Die Hard series. He did Red, R-E-D, Red, 1 and 2. Now I have them, and those are good. They're another one, kind of spy type thing. A lot of action, a lot of good killing. It's got a good cast in it. So Red 1 and 2. The Fifth Element was a good movie he did. And then let's see here. The Kid. There was one that he called The Kid. That wasn't so much action or anything, but more of a heartfelt type movie, and kind of a looking back at yourself as a kid, and what you would do with yourself, or how you would react to it. So that was a cool movie. Very good, but not action, So let's see here. What else? A couple of funny ones. Early funny one was Blind Date. that one will drive anybody nuts. That's a good one, actually, for the MGTOW guys. Blind Date. So And then of course Death Becomes Her, which obviously that kind of that would go to the MGTOW crowd pretty good too. So those are pretty much it for Bruce Willis, and like I said, he's done some other stuff that's pretty good too. Again, go through these, type in the name and then hit movies afterwards and go through them if you see anything you like. Okay, number 1, 2, 3, 4 on my list here is Liam Neeson, who did a couple excellent movies. Or, well, he did quite a few. But top of my list, of course, is all of the Taken movies. Taken, Taken. Those were pretty good. Good action in them. I like Liam Neeson. He seems like a decent actor. Very kind of subdued personality, so I like that. The movie Into the Gray, that was an excellent one. Pretty suspenseful, good one to watch. And Nonstop, where he's an air marshal on an airplane, dealing with somebody that's trying to blow it up or whatever. And that was a good action flick as well. So Liam Neeson, there you go. There's my 3 on that. And moving on to the next one, of course, would be Sylvester Stallone, which would be, of course, the Rocky movies. All of them were pretty good. The fight scenes, I mean, screaming Adrian all the time was a little, screwed up, but you get to ignore that crap, It's a good movie. Then again, all the Rambo movies were really good. I don't remember if the last one was a good one or not, but I'm pretty sure they all were. And then on the list right following those, of course, I would think everybody knows, is Demolition Man. Then Tango and Cash was great. That's with Kurt Russell and Stallone, where they were cops. They get put in jail and everything. And that was a pretty cool movie, man. So Tango and Cash would be one to check out. And of course, Kurt Russell is top notch too for a lot of stuff. And then he did a comedy Stallone did called Oscar, where he's a mafia boss or whatever, but it's a pure comedy. So not a lot of action there, but it's along the lines of Clue, kind of like that. But excellent movie if you're into comedies. Moving on to Nicolas Cage, who I also think is a pretty damn good actor, except his early stuff like Raising Arizona. God, what an idiot he played. But, I mean, he really did come into his own later on. I hear he does a lot of his own stuff, too, like Keanu Reeves. And, he's a hard-working dude. So, hey, you got to give him kudos. He's very entertaining. He does a good job of it, playing different things. So, top of my list, of course, would be Ghost Rider. And that would be Ghost Rider 1. Number 2 really let the whole thing down. And, I mean, you can watch it if you like. Of course, you're welcome to. But I didn't really care for it that much. Then the next one on that list would be Con Air, which played a pretty tough dude, ex-Marine or ex-Green Beret, something like that. He goes to prison and, he gets on this airplane in Con Air. And it gets pretty interesting. Then the other one he did, which I thought was really good, was National Treasure. That had a lot of thinking and action in it, but not not the brutal, not the fighting or gun shooting type thing. So more of a thinking man's video, if you want to call it that. A whodunit or where is it, something like that. But action nevertheless. So anyway, those are my main ones here that I thought of and went to, and I wanted to have a couple of mentions here, honorable mentions if you want. A movie called The Negotiator with Samuel Jackson Samuel L. Jackson, and Kevin Spacey. And yeah, I know Spacey fell out of the good graces of everybody, but hey, despite whatever he did, and I'm not even sure whatever he got accused of or what happened there, but I liked a lot of his acting. Uh, and he does a good job in The Negotiator. I mean, that was a pretty good action flick too, and good thought to it. And of course, the other honorable mention would go to the Men in Black movies, which those are all Tommy Lee Jones, Will Smith. I think the first two were probably the best. I don't remember if there was a third one. I can't remember now, but I think the last one was a little bit but yeah, Men in Black. So anyway, there you have it, guys. I've given you a list here long enough to give you some ideas. Now, of course, the Star Trek series that came out after the original episode, where they had the 5 movies of the motion picture and where Spock dies and all that. And I think most every Trekkie out there knows these. It's with Fat Captain Kirk. Those are pretty good to watch every now and then. I still enjoy those. Anything after those movies is crap to me at Star Trek. Anyway, so there you have it. There's my list, and I doubt I'll do any more of these. They do take up quite a bit of time, and I might be talking to the wall here. Well, with the older crowd, I probably am. With the younger guys, I'm not talking to the wall with a lot of them because you probably never heard of them and you're not going to try them out. But trust me, these are movies with a little bit more substance, of not getting into political crap or the shit that we're in nowadays. It's a good escape to get the hell away from what's going on, the craziness in the world today. So enjoy and have fun, and we will talk to you again another day.